I just remember seeing her on screen. You just go, this woman is powerful. She just exudes intelligence, power, credibility, and that character that I just, McHugh wrote for her. I love it, and she crushes it. When she's on screen, she's a force of nature, and again, just wonderful, wonderful woman, and I loved working with her every day. It's a love letter to Paris, and London, always a love letter to London. Great locations there. Norway, beautiful locations in Norway. India, and also we shot in New Zealand. The helicopter sequence in New Zealand, beautiful country. We could not have gotten that helicopter sequence without the help of New Zealand. We could not have shot in Paris without all the help of the Parisians, or the skydiving sequence that we shot with the UAE military. So we shot there also, and it is definitely the scope of the film is enormous, and I think the story wants that. And so these beautiful locations that we went to, and every time it was like Norway, we're climbing the side of a mountain. It's quite extreme. and of course, London, we had the foot chase in London. New Zealand was the helicopter sequence we shot. I was inches away from the sides of cliffs and right on the tail of Henry's helicopter, and we were going hard there. It was very intense, very extreme, as I know an audience will experience. And we shot in Abu Dhabi, and we had the UA military, where we're able to jump out of a C-17 and do a halo jump from there, very high up, and a sequence that is quite extreme. To do things practically, to apply it. How can we immerse an audience into an environment, into a story, into a character, and then put them in extreme action and do it practically? There's something, whether an audience realizes it or not, there's just something different about when you're watching it, when you're seeing it. That's always something that I'm trying to push myself in every way, to use everything that I have, my talent, my physical ability. It does make a difference. It's something about it that, and as time goes on, it's interesting looking at a Mission Impossible trailer. You put it up against other trailers, and it's just different. It just has a different, different look, a different vibe, and that's what I want to give an audience. A halo jump is a high altitude, low opening. That's what it means, that it's a jump where you're jumping from a very, very high altitude and you open very low. So this sequence basically takes place over Paris. We're at a very high altitude, above 35,000 feet, and we're opening just above the Grand Palais. And we're doing that so that the aircraft that we're in looks like a commercial airliner, and they don't know that we're military and we're jumping into the Grand Palais, and that's why the halo jump. The halo sequence is something McHugh and I talked about for a long time, and we were told on numerous occasions that it's impossible what we were thinking, and it's never going to happen, and we were like, okay. So basically what McHugh did is he designed the sequence, and also the sequence takes place at night as the sun has set. So essentially we realized we have a 3-minute window upon which I jump out of the air. We do the scene inside the aircraft and jump out, and then I have to fly down and be within 3 feet of the lens, because he's pulling focus, which is something that's never been done before in the air, because he's using a film camera. He's having to pull focus while he's also skydiving, and I'm skydiving down to him, and I have to be within 3 feet of him. 3 feet, not 2.5, not 3.5. It has to be 3 feet because of the depth of field, because of the light and the lens that we were using. And there was just also the thing that I needed to train in skydiving, extreme training, because the sequence is incredibly grueling. It's very technical. It's very dangerous, to be honest. And so with all that said, we ended up just pushing it to the end of the schedule. It was a very long schedule, and constantly for me, I'm not only acting in the movie and producing the film, I'm doing all my own stunts in there and all my own action in there, from motorcycles, cars, skydiving, helicopter, and constant kind of physical training throughout the day. So we shot this at the end of the movie. I finished the film. Went to Abu Dhabi, and luckily the United Arab Emirates really stepped up and helped us. They said, we will give you our C-17. We will help you accomplish this, because we have a great relationship when I climbed the Burj there in Dubai, and they loved movies, and they knew what it was we were trying to accomplish, and they wanted to be part of it. And I'm very grateful to them. They allowed us to use their C-17. So then we had to figure out, how do we get the shot? And we didn't know whether we would actually be able to do it until we were there on the ground in Abu Dhabi and trained in it, and figured out how to exit out of the aircraft, because the aircraft's going between, the C-17s between 160 and 200 miles an hour. So with that level of turbulence, we had to find a way to exit the aircraft, even for me to be able to get close to that 3 feet. We broke it down to 3 sections. And then we only got 1 take a day. So I spent the whole day training, and then at night we would get that 1 take. And it was 1 take. And if there was 1 mistake, that was it. The take was gone. And we couldn't, we had to do it again. So we thought we were going to be there about a week. We ended up being there, I don't know how long we were there, over a month, maybe 5 weeks I was there training and then to shoot. And the more times we rehearsed it, we just didn't want to be so exhausted that by the time the take came at night that we were physically unable to do it. And also when you're going up to altitude like that, up and down, I mean in the C-17, they're limited to only 3 hops above 18,000 feet a day. And at times we were doing way more than that. I mean the team, not the C-17 pilots. In another order, we were going above that, training during the day and then doing it. So we had to really figure out, how we can get this done. It's a movie, you can't shoot it forever. And when we have a release date, and you also don't want to be tired when you're doing it, because you want all of your wits about you as we're performing. It's not just a skydive, I'm acting as I'm doing it. So there are many factors, and obviously we talk them through very carefully. When I go to do something like this, I'm not someone who does it on a whim. I'm very meticulous on how I prepare physically, mentally, with everyone in the whole team, and there's tons of briefings, and I really create a team environment, and one that I push for excellence. But obviously what we're doing is extreme, and all of us know it, and all of us are very respectful of that and don't take it for granted. And it's definitely challenged all of us. I mean, these skydivers that I was diving with also, they all had thousands and thousands of jumps. I didn't. And it's something that none of us took for granted. And every jump, I was looking to, how do I improve my skill? What do I do? How can I do it better? So all of that, we had to keep in mind.